Don't stress, live life one day at a time. Don't drink or drugging, you'll be fine.
Welcome back to Staying Sober with Papa Joey. Today I'm going to continue with the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. Step number 2 came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Now this one early on kind of got me a little perplexed. Being a Christian, back then still am, when I heard the term higher power, I immediately thought God, Jesus Christ. Now I've heard that term back 30 years ago get thrown around a lot because of the New Age movement, higher power. Well, I got to believe in a higher power. Well, so when I asked what this higher power was, they said it could be whatever you want it to be. So, well, that's interesting. Now, I didn't say it to anybody at that time, but I thought, well, if I can make up my own higher power, wouldn't that actually mean that I'm the higher power? Because where am I getting my logic from, my answer to maybe some questions that I need? Where would I get that from, a higher power that I made up? So whatever I get back from this fake higher power, wouldn't it just be what I really wanted? I believe truthfully that our conscience leads us the way we're supposed to go. Unfortunately, we don't listen to our conscience enough, do we? I know when I was drinking, many times right here, my conscience was saying, don't go out tonight, don't go doing it. You should stay home. You don't need to go out, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't listen and I went out. And of course, sometimes I got myself into trouble. And then when I got home, I said, only if I listen to myself, right? We do it all the time. I still do it. I don't drink, of course, but I know what I should be doing because it's a good thing. And either I put it off or I kind of go in a different direction. And then when something doesn't work out, I go, if I only listened to myself. I knew what was right and I knew what was wrong, but I didn't want to listen. So I believe that, if you're making up your higher power, that maybe you got to listen to your conscience and it'll tell you what really to do for the most part. But maybe sometimes you should talk to somebody if it's a big decision and you really don't want to screw it up. Next, I had to realize that, and this is early on when I was in AA, that everything that I'm hearing in the rooms of AA, I'm not going to take seriously. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Because I've always said, if you go to AA, and I tell people, if they're new in sobriety, it's a good place to check out. It did help me, just the people there, having a place to go. And some of the conversations were good. But I just didn't take a lot of the things too seriously. Because to me, if I was going to believe in a higher power, it's God, Jesus Christ, and I'm going to look into the Bible for answers, or maybe talk to somebody that I trust. I'm not going to, do these 12 steps and think that's what I need in my life. And there's a reason I say that, and I'll get into that when we talk about, step 3. But for right now, this making up a higher power, that's cool. If that's what you need to do. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I know a lot of people that just think that there's a greater being up there. They don't call it God or Christ or whatever. And everything is going to work out for them. Well, I hope it does. I definitely hope it does. But here on this channel, the only thing that I do know that works is don't drink or use no matter what. And no matter what means no matter what. See, I believe in no excuses. So that's what my higher power is telling me. There's no excuses, Joey, anymore. Right? You don't drink, you don't use, no matter what. And that means no matter what. So don't come to me with any problems and thinking that you need to drink over it. I wasn't into drugs or drug over it, because that's not the answer. So get rid of that. Now we'll deal with the problem. See, too many people early on in sobriety, and other times later on, when they were sober for a period of time. I know quite a few people went out drinking again. So, and that was their choice. It's not because AA didn't work, or the 12 steps didn't work, or the church that they were going to for their support group didn't work, or the treatment center they went to didn't work. It was because they chose to drink again or use again. It was a decision they made. So the blame stays on the person. If I choose to pick up a drink after 31 years, I know I'm not going to do that, but if I choose to do it, it's on me. Nobody else. There's nobody else's fault if I pick up a drink, or no situation's fault if I pick up a drink. That's it. And I think too many people don't realize that ultimately AA is not going to keep you sober. The 12 steps aren't going to keep you sober. The church isn't going to keep you sober. Your mommy, daddy, your wife, your husband, kids, whatever, is not going to keep you sober unless you want to stay sober and you choose to stay sober, because you know after all the crap you went through due to your drinking or drugging, you had enough and you said, I'm done. I'm not doing that again. That works. So early on, I'm not going to say take God or Jesus Christ out of the picture, but early on, my higher power when it came to my drinking was that I knew the consequences for me if I should put a drink in me. So for, I'm going to say a good year or two, that was my biggest motivator. If the thought of a drink came to mind, that my last drunk kicked in and I said, I'm not doing that. And then, of course, the old movies replay of all the trouble I got into, because I programmed myself not to think about the good times I had when I was drinking, because I did have good times. I programmed myself to go right back to when I was miserable and some of the stupid shit that I did. That's what I thought about. So the minute I had a thought about, I'm going to pick up, screw all this, I'm going to have a drink. I'm going through something, I need that relief. The memory of what happened in my past would pop right up and I'd go, whoa, okay, that's it. I ain't going there. And then I dealt with the situation however I could. If it meant sitting down and talking to somebody, fine. If it meant calling somebody, I would do that. If it meant going for a walk, I would do that. Or if it meant I was going to sit alone in my apartment at the time and cry over the damn thing, I'll do that. As long as I didn't pick up a drink, because I understood if I put a drink in me, I'm screwed. I might not get in trouble that night, but it's going to lead me to wanting to drink the next day and then the next night, and who knows what will happen at that point. So my higher power, other than God, of course, and Jesus, was fear. And it was a healthy fear. And that fear was of picking up a drink and going back to the way it was when I drank. Now, the second half was that we want a higher power to restore us to sanity. Well, I wasn't crazy. I don't think a lot of people that walked into the rooms of AA were crazy. Now, I did meet some people who were a little nuts. Now, when I was drinking, I did some crazy things. Some people might say, you're insane. And I was. I kept on doing it over and over again, right? The definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. But I didn't want, God to restore me to sanity. I understood early on again in my sobriety, because of my faith, that God was not going to get me sober or keep me sober. And the reason I say that is because God didn't get me drunk or make me drink. I chose on my own free will to drink. And to this day, I know, even with 31 plus years of sobriety, and my faith is strong, However, if I choose to go to a bar right now and order a beer and sit down and start drinking, I'm not going to be stopped. God's not going to stop me. That movie will kick in my head, the consequence thing I was talking about. Here's what you did when you were drinking. You sure you want to go down that road? Your higher power, whatever you choose it to be, is going to allow you to make your own decisions. You got free will. So my suggestion is, if you're looking for a higher power, look for a higher power if you're going to make it up. That's going to stop you from putting that first drink or drug into you. All right. If you want religion, if you're looking for a support group where there's some real guidance, in my opinion, then go to a church. Find some people of faith and go that route. This new age stuff, I've never felt comfortable with, just all feeling good about ourselves. And, I'm just such a nice person that, of course, I can do whatever I want. If somebody doesn't like it, well, too bad. I'm not all about that. I know there's a lot of people out there that are. I hope I didn't offend anybody. But when it comes to getting sober and staying sober, I take it seriously because I've seen too many people that I'm close to that, got hurt because of their drinking and their drugging. Some lost their lives. And I take it seriously, but I also don't take it too seriously, meaning I still enjoy my life. The only thing I don't do now is, I don't drink anymore. That's it. I do whatever I want to do, and I go wherever I want to go. I was in the bar business for years. In sobriety, it didn't bother me one bit because I understood why I no longer put alcohol in me. And so, to recap, number 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. All I will say is, don't drink or use no matter what, and no matter what means no matter what, and be careful who you choose or what you choose to be your higher power. Until the next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Think about your serenity. Be grateful for your sobriety. Staying sober with Papa Joey.